What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Now, if you know BMWs and you know E30s, you know that there's a very common issue with these models right here with this chassis, and that's that the odometer gears eventually break, stop working for whatever reason. I'm not really sure, but in my case, that same situation happened. It actually happened, I think, on the way back from when I was driving. It was working when I first originally bought the car, and then all of a sudden I just noticed it stopped working. I know a lot of people just leave the issue and they just keep driving without it, but I really want to know what my miles are, how much I drive the car, so I know when to do oil changes, things like that. So I went ahead and actually bought a set of repair odometer gears from this company right here, which is Garagistic. I think that's how you say it. So I'll put the link for the odometer gears down below. I actually have the VDO model rather than the Motometer. Motometer, yeah. I have the VDO cluster rather than the Motometer cluster. So these are the VDO gears. The Motometers are a little bit different. So now to figure out which one you actually have, you just need to look right in the center of your cluster. It says VDO on mine. So that's how I know that this is a VDO cluster rather than the Motometer. So just take a look at yours, see which one yours is, and then go ahead and order the appropriate gears. So I have my toolbox right next to the car. Talk about a tight fit. So when you order this kit, you're gonna get 3 separate gears as well as a sticker, which is a nice little touch. You know, might have to throw that on here or something. But you can tell there's a few small differences between these two gears right here. This one is kind of a flat face. This one has a little indentation on it, and then this one, there's a tiny little gear here. So as of right now, I'm not really sure which one goes where, but I'm gonna open up the cluster, show you guys how to do that as well, and then start changing everything out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking this piece off first. I am seeing a few small screws here. Most of these are pretty loose already, which isn't really a good sign, but see, that one I just took out by hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this piece off, find out how to get this cluster out, and then keep on working. The next step to getting the cluster off is actually there's 2 little hand screws right behind here, like right in this area, and you should be able to loosen them up by hand. So I'm just gonna press my finger against it, and this is how it looks. So pretty easy. I just got it off by hand, and there should be another one right on the opposite side of the steering wheel. Should be another one right around here. So I'm just gonna take my hand in here as well, and hopefully be able to get that loose. So what I've seen online is that this piece comes off after you unscrew that little hand screw, and with my situation, for some reason this piece right here is getting blocked by the actual steering wheel, so I can't really pull it out. So what I went ahead and did was find the screws for the actual cluster bezel right here, which is right in this small gap right here. There's 2 in the center right here, so 1 right here, 1 right here, another 1 right here, and then 2 on the top side. So right here and right here. I went ahead and loosened those up. Now I got the bezel loose. I'm gonna go ahead and try pulling the actual bezel out first, and then pulling out this piece right here. So I'm gonna put you guys down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and try pulling this bezel out first, and then from there try to get those other pieces out. So now, as you can see, I got everything loosened up. The bezel's coming out. That little back piece is coming out that wasn't coming out earlier. And there we go. Now, for some reason, this piece didn't want to come out itself, so I went ahead and just pulled out both pieces together. Since I wasn't able to show you it while I was in the car, screw right here in the corner, same screw on this corner as well. These 2 silver ones in the middle, and then 2 of these black screws right on top. So I loosened those all up as much as I could. I kind of pulled this piece down, got to these 2 screws, pulled this side down, got to these 2 screws, and then pull this whole assembly out together, which isn't usually the normal way to go about it, but since it wasn't working for me the original way, I went ahead and tried this, and it worked out. So now you have the cluster sitting loose right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out as well and see if there's anything I need to unplug or anything like that, and then get to actually fixing the gears. sure if anything else is holding this in. Actually there's 2 screws right up here and right up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen those up and hopefully this comes out pretty easily. So now we got the cluster sitting out. There's a bunch of clips that you actually need to unplug. So I'll start with this one and then make my way down. I'm pretty sure they're all kind of the same unclipping method. So it looks like you're just gonna take a small flathead screwdriver, push up against the clip, push up against the clip like that. And then once you have the clip up, just gonna go ahead, pull, wiggle it until it comes out. So we got that one out. There's also a little bulb right here that connects to that clip. Also got that one out. So moving on to the next one, got this green clip right here. Unplug that. That was pretty easy. So that one goes into that first slot. From there, you got this yellow clip. Push that back. Not sure if you guys are able to see it. So same process with that one as well. Just gonna pull up on the clip and then wiggle it around until that pops out. We got this clip taken out. We got the green one. There's a piece that just sticks into right here. And then the light bulb that sticks into right here. And then once you get that up, you're gonna go ahead, pop that out. So just to reiterate again, you have this white clip right here. You have a small black clip that sits right into this socket right here on top. The yellow clip, this tiny light, and then this blue clip. So you're gonna unplug all of those and this should come out. And again, this is the VDO cluster rather than the Motometer. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering your gears. So now I got the cluster out. I'm gonna start unscrewing all the little screws around here. Hopefully I don't lose any because that would be bad. But once I get this done, I really don't know what to do next, so I'll figure it out. I think now that we got all the screws removed, we should be able to pry this open just like this. I did unscrew all the screws instead of just the 9 screws around the outer edge. So some things might be a little bit looser than others, but let me just go ahead and start pulling. There we go. So now we got the entire cluster. We got basically you could say the bezel over here. So I'm just gonna put this to the side for the time being and then focus my efforts on this right here. But now to get this out, you actually got to turn it back around. So I'm gonna turn it back around very carefully, and from here you're actually gonna want to go ahead and remove this clip right here. So to do so, you're just gonna push against this little piece right here, pry it off this clip. Do the same thing on this other side, and you should be able to pull this entire clip straight back to remove it from the rest of the cluster. So just a little bit help from the screwdriver, and it should come straight back out. There we go. And turn this back around and put it down. Now since we got that loosened up, this should be able to pop right out. It's always easier said than done, and I'm always scared, so I'm a little hesitant when I'm pulling stuff like this. Ooh, but I think we got it. So I'm just gonna put that down right here, just like that. So now that we have this whole assembly out, you can actually take a quick look at the gears itself and see why it wasn't working. And you can see that the smallest gear right there kind of shaved off all of its teeth. Therefore it just wasn't rubbing against the other gears and it stopped working. That's actually why we got the kit, so that we can go ahead, replace these, and I think it's pretty easy to kind of get this out. I see 2 screws right here, so gonna loosen those up. Make sure not to touch anything else as much as possible, and then try to put the new gears in. So gonna go ahead, take these little tiny screws out. Now I should be using a smaller screwdriver for this, just so I don't strip the screw head, but I'm too lazy to go grab it from outside, to be honest. Can you get off, please? And then this one right here as well. Put that to the side. And I like keeping all my screws together, different sizes. So I got these kind of 4 medium-sized screws right there. I got the 4 larger ones in that corner outside of the camera. But now we have this loosened up. This should pop right out unless I'm missing another piece. But to get this out, it looks like I'm gonna have to pull up and that way, since we have these little metal clips right here. Come on, buddy. So now this flew off, and for a second I was like, oh crap, I don't know where it came from, but it looks like it just sits just like that on top of this little back, I guess it acts like a spacer. So put that there. I'm looking at this, I really don't know which gears go where, so let me go grab my gears and try to figure out which one goes on top, which one goes on the bottom, and then put those together so that we can get this working again. So now, honestly, this is the scary part, it seems like. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is put my finger against this little bearing right here so that doesn't pop out. Or let me just go ahead and use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my screwdriver against it. And it looks like it came out. And what I'm noticing about these gears is that, so I'm trying to let it focus, they look super crusty, and look at this. You can literally bend it like Play-Doh. It feels like rubber at this point. And look, it just broke. So as you can see, over time, I guess the plastic became more and more malleable and the teeth kind of just broke off. So if you focus again, the teeth are just missing in some areas. So I'm guessing that's what happened over time, and that's what happened with all of them. So I'm just gonna throw these to the side, start pulling off this one as well. So I'm gonna do the same process, put my screwdriver above the bearing, and that one just broke as well. Even with this one, super crusty. This thing just snapped. Like, this is just rubber at this point. So, and what I did want to mention before I start putting things back together is that there's 2 types of gears. So I counted the teeth on this gear, which is the white one, and I'm counting the inner teeth, not the outer teeth. And it seems like this white gear right here has 14 teeth on the center. Compared to the blue one, this blue one has 12. So what's gonna happen is this white one right here is gonna go on this side, and it's gonna go face down like this, and then this blue one is gonna go where that black one was sitting originally when we took everything apart. So it's gonna go on the top side just like that, I believe. What I'm trying to do right now with this small little gear right here is that I'm trying to deform that brass fitting so it doesn't seat as properly on the actual rod and it pops off, because we don't need this for the second one. I don't want to pull too hard because I don't know if that's gonna mess it up. So I'm just gonna go at this very slowly and try to get this piece off. So it took me about 5-10 minutes, but I kept taking the edge of these pliers, pressing against the brass fitting right here in different angles, and eventually I saw it became a little bit loose. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push up against it from here. Again, you don't want to push too hard because this rod is actually connected to the motor that's back here. So pulling too hard might actually break the motor, so you doing this is all going to be for nothing. As you can see, it's slowly coming off. So it could be a little bit looser, but you know, I'm kind of over it. And I think that's where things go wrong, to be honest, for me, when I start messing around. And just like that, it came off. And this is the actual brass fitting right here. So once you have that done, I'm pretty sure you're good to go and start putting the gears all back on. So gonna put all the gears back on, starting with the one with 14 teeth first, which is the white one in my situation. And then from there, and then you're gonna take the blue gear, which is 12 teeth for the VDO meter. And you're gonna go ahead and put that face down right on this rod right here. But once you have it on, you're just gonna spin it just a little bit, make sure that it's spinning with the rest of the assembly. So right there should be good. So now we have those 2 gears on. We're gonna go ahead and take the smaller white gear and push it where that metal brass bushing was. And this one's gonna be a little bit of a tighter fit, so take your time with it and hopefully everything should align and work. When I said you had to put a lot of pressure to get this one on, you really do have to put a lot of pressure to get it on. I was actually scared that I was gonna break it, but push everything back on and you should be good. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting everything back together. Here, if I just pull this, not drop what I'm trying to put back on. Put this in here like this, and then push this back on, just like that. So now it's holding everything back together. Put the screws back in, and now it's the easy part of just putting everything back together and putting it back in the car. These pins right here are actually gonna line up with the 4 prongs right down there, if you can see right down there. So you're just gonna place this back in, again, carefully. You don't wanna break anything else while you're fixing this. Story of my life. This green clip should slide back in pretty easily. Just gonna make sure I do it nice and slow though. And the clips plug into place. And then from there, you can go ahead and start putting your screws back in. So I knew that I was going to be doing this little project, so I went ahead and ordered LEDs. So these LEDs are actually going to be all around the cluster right here, just to brighten it back up and make sure that nothing is going to die out. So I got these LEDs from superbrightleds.com. Not sure if they're going to fit, honestly, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. Just turn. Yeah, I think you just turn it. Come on. Oh god, those are on there tight. So I got the first one back in, and again, you're just gonna loosen it up by turning it clockwise or counterclockwise. If it is a little bit tight and you can't get a good grip on it, I just used a little plier on it, turned it, and I have a total of 12 just in case. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch all of these out, and these are actually bright white LEDs. I don't like the yellow, I never do. So now I got everything back together. I got all the LEDs in. I think I did order one less, or I got sent one less, because I think on this end I still have the stock bulb, which is the black one with the yellow hue. So I just left that in there. I am gonna take this all apart again once I get the new faceplate, which is this right here, and then once I get the new bezel and the rings to go around everything. I'm not too worried about it. I'll order one more, go ahead and put that back in. Do need to take the glass off, get it all cleaned up before I put it back together. So I got everything put back together. I got the front side of the cluster put back on, matched it up with the back side. Now I just need to screw it all back in and then go ahead and put it back into the car. So got the entire cluster put back together. Now we're gonna take it outside back to the car. Hopefully it fits. I mean, hopefully it works, because it was a struggle getting this thing out. What I think I'm gonna do is, since I do have to take it apart again when the rest of the parts come in, I think I'm just gonna plug in the wires, put in the minimum amount of screws possible, just keep it in place, and then from there, that way when I can take it out again, or when I have to take it again, it won't be as hard or difficult. At least that way we'll know it works. Turn on the light, check the light and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll show you guys the process. So I got the cluster sitting back in the car. I want to make it a little bit darker in here so it's better for you guys to see. Back in the car. So now we got all this working. We still need new lights for the brake fluid, brake lining. The check engine light, as you can see, is a lot brighter from before. So is the check engine light right down there. So not sure how clear it was before, but as you can see, the low trip meter right here is working. This went from 745 to 748. And that was the main objective of today's video, so I'm glad that I got that fixed. I did mess up a few other things. Actually, I didn't mess them up. They're already messed up. I don't even know. But So now I guess for the next time I take this out, which is going to be pretty soon, I want to make sure I go ahead and add the LED for the high beam, as well as fix the one that's up here that's not working currently. I also need to change out the color behind the actual gauges. That I really don't know how to do, so I'm going to go ahead and search it up for the next video, order some new bulbs, and hopefully get those fixed up. As you can see, I did go ahead and clean up the entire face of this as much as possible, just so it looks a lot cleaner and nicer, and now it does. It just looks like it's a little bit more new, but once we get all those little accessories in, it should be a lot nicer and look a lot more modern. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, let me know down below in the comments. What would you have done differently? The main objective, as I mentioned, was to fix the odometer, and now that's working. I went ahead and did a little bit extra stuff by installing the LEDs. I didn't do them all correctly, so I'm gonna have to open that back up and fix those as well. Obviously I have to order some new ones, so once I do that and all the rest of the parts come in for the cluster, we'll go ahead and take it back out. You guys will see another video on that and get it all put back together properly the last time. Hopefully I don't have to mess with it again. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe down below, comment what I should do in the future. If there's any suggestions that you guys have, I know a lot of you BMW owners might have some things that you guys did that I didn't do, so let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe, comment, like, anything helps grow this channel and get this video out there for more people who are looking to do similar things to their E30. See you guys on the next one. Peace.